We're talking San Francisco Giants baseball.
This came out today or yesterday, and they're going to test the automated ball and strike ABS system during spring training games. Now, the Giants will not have it in Scottsdale, and so there's, I think, 12 games that they will have it in games that they are playing on the road during spring. But each team will start with 2 challenges, and they will only lose their challenge if the umpire's call is confirmed. Only the batter, pitcher, or catcher can challenge a call. The player will tip their cap or helmet to the umpire to signal they want to challenge. They don't get any more in extra innings, and Hawkeye view will be shown during the review. So I guess Hawkeye is kind of where it kind of illustrates where it was in the strike zone, kind of like that box they show on TV.
Do you go to a lot of minor league games, Dale?
No, I don't. I mean, I've been maybe 1 or 2 a season.
So I don't know if you've seen this used much. They were using it more last year in AAA, but I think in the lower minors last couple of years they've used it, and the last few years they've been using it in AAA. Probably less than half the games. It's not always on. I don't know what their system of rhyme or reason is, but some games they'll use it, some games they won't. I've seen a couple games where the home plate umpire isn't even making calls. It's fully automated, and they're testing that out. He's just standing back there if there's a play at the plate or whatever, to be the crew chief. But the computer just calls the game. And I honestly, it works very well, better than I thought I would expect it to. So especially the challenge system specifically, it's very seamless. They just give the little signal, and it very quickly, within seconds, you get the result. And it puts it on the scoreboard, and it shows you it's color coded what type of pitch it was. If it was a fastball or breaking ball, and then if it's in the strike zone or out of the strike zone, and it's so easy. It's like out of every major sports replay system that tends to usually be a disaster and controversial, I've never seen. There's no controversy with it. It's just, yep, that one was a strike. I got it wrong, or I got it right, and move on. Change the call and get it right.
I like it too, and I think the strike zone has been kind of atrocious the last few years. Now, maybe it always has been, and I have that box on the screen now, and I'm able to see it more. But there's been some pretty bad calls the last few years where the games where there's like multiple flat out misses in situations where it should. So I think it's good to have this. I also think that it makes the umpires want to up their game a little bit, because if you're going to get challenged and you're going to be told, oh yeah, you missed that, right? You were wrong. Then the umpire is going to be like, well, shit, I better step up my game here and make sure that I'm right. Because that umpire is going to have a sense of satisfaction when he calls a strike and the guy's like, that was outside or whatever. And then you're going to challenge it. They challenge it and it comes up, yeah, it was a strike.
I've literally felt that. I've felt that at a minor league game before. What you're saying, I've literally felt that before. That I've seen where the catcher and the pitcher both kept challenging, and every time I went to a game last year where the umpire was right 100% of the time, and you could tell he kind of walked off the field between innings like a little spring in his step. Yep, I crushed that one.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then that'll make the players think twice about challenging, which is fine. But then also, when the umpire is screwing up and making bad calls, it's going to become apparent, and then he'll have to be like, okay, try a little harder or adjust what you think the strike zone is, or whatever it happens to be. Adjustments will be made.
I think we need to be realistic that there's going to be robo-umps, right? It's down the road. Hopefully it's not anytime soon. I don't want to see it, but it's going to happen. It's just, that's where baseball's going to head. Sooner or later, there's going to be robo-umps. They're not going to be making the calls and human interactions anymore. And I think that's a huge part of the game. We'll talk about Patrick Bailey probably more, but Patrick Bailey gets huge value out of his pitch framing numbers. Go look at his fan graphs and you can see all his advanced stats and his defensive metrics. And when I say it's not even close, it's not even close how much better Patrick Bailey is. And Buster Posey was the same way. The Giants have had a lot of guys who they kind of pride themselves on their pitch framing, on their receiving skills, on their ball blocking, and going fully, automatic takes that away, and that stinks when it's such a huge advantage. It is an advantage. I mean, he steals strikes. That's what he does. He steals strikes. He helps his pitchers, and so I'm kind of bummed to see them lose out on some of that. And I hope that it's a long. But the challenge system, I think, is a net positive. It's better to have important calls right. They're not going to be challenging every pitch. You only get a few challenges. So when it's a big pitch, a big moment, the batter's feeling like he's seeing a pitcher really well, so he doesn't want to strike out on a bad call. He can challenge it and stay in, get another pitch to hit. I think it's great. I really think that is a positive.
Yeah, I think it will prevent that one or two, real egregious bad call that happens per game. It doesn't happen much, but if it does, then you can, have your say,
Especially now that Angel Hernandez is retired, so.
Care to comment? Call or text us at 415-855-2455. That's area code 415. Hunter Pence, Timmy, Willie, Timmy. Or email feedback at talkinggiants.com.